WWE SummerSlam 2026 has just wrapped up, and I'm here to just give my thoughts. It's Auraden from Main Event Mike, here to talk about the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and maybe once again TKO of SummerSlam. SummerSlam has just wrapped up, the two-night event for the second time running. The WWE have made this show a two-night event. One of the interesting things about this PLE, or if you would say when it comes to Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, especially when they do these stadiums, something that I just kind of realized is that they didn't even announce the attendance. Usually they would announce the attendance. They did this at WrestleMania earlier this year, and they didn't do it for SummerSlam, which was very interesting. But that was just something that I found kind of interesting for them to do. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're a bit shy of the sales. But let's start off with the show. We start off with WrestleMania, wrong event. We start off with SummerSlam Night 1. We started with Liv Morgan finally defending her Women's World Championship against Io Sky. This is a rematch from what we saw at Night of Champions when these two fought in the Queen of the Ring finals, where Io Sky got the victory. I thought this was a very good opener to start the show. Io Sky is easily one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I think she showcased it here with delivering a really good match with Liv Morgan. We did get the usual Judgment Day interference with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, but I thought the match ended with a really good finish with Io countering the Oblivion finisher. The Oblivion? Did I get the finisher wrong? Liv Morgan's finisher. For some reason, I can't remember her finisher, but she counted out Liv Morgan's finisher, did a pickup finisher or counter, and then Liv Morgan hit another a code breaker into a finisher for the win. For some reason, maybe I got it right, maybe I got it wrong. For some reason, I'm kind of baffled if I got the finisher right. But it is what it is. Liv Morgan retained the championship in a match that surprised me. I thought this was a really good match. The biggest criticism I have is that that they just don't want this woman to defend her belt, and it's nothing against Liv Morgan. It's really to do with the booking of the world champions for the last few years. It's not Liv Morgan. It's been Io Sky last year. It was Jade Cargill heading into this year. It was other people as well. You know, for some reason they just don't want their champions. They give them like long title reigns without defending them. But moving on, we had LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys versus the Bloodline of Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Jacob Fatu. This match, first off, the Usos getting a Gears of War special entrance was not something I was expecting, but the match was fun. I thought Solo Sikoa was the funniest person in the match. If it was him just being a joke, I think the fact that they've able to utilize Solo, who was a funny heel to start off, but now has been turned off to be a funny face, has worked wonders. I thought the spot where he called for Jey Uso's entrance was very funny. Fun match. You could say it kind of had its regular Monday Night Raw type, like you could have seen this on a weekly show, but it was fun. Interesting to see that the babyfaces got the victory, and big victory for the babyfaces. We had Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis coming out to Oasis, which was pretty cool. I think this is cool because it sets himself apart from a lot of the unfortunate slop that Def Rebel produced for songs. And maybe this is just going to be the one and only time this guy's wrestling, because they're not going to be paying for that people all the time. But this was a good match. Nick Aldis hung in there. The fact that this guy's not even in his 40s is actually mad. And the main eventers that are in WWE are in their 40s. Nick Aldis is only 39, which is insane. It was a good match. Gunther getting the victory via submission, tapping out Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis got a good celebration where he had a moment with his wife, Mickie James, and also his son. So, good match. It'll be interesting to see what Gunther does next. We will get to that when we get to WrestleMania. I'm confusing these shows now. When we get to SummerSlam Sunday. But cool that Nick Aldis got his moment. But yeah. The next match, we had a 6-women tag team match. So literally the same match we had, but with the women this time. Fatal Influence, who have been kind of getting a bit of a steady push to an extent, with Fallon Henley and Lani Reed winning the tag team championships on Saturday Night Main Event. Jason Jane up there as well. Then they were facing, of course, the Bella Twins and Paige. Not the greatest match. I thought this match was fine. Nothing to scream about, to be honest. The biggest things that Fatal Influence got the victory. The biggest thing after the match was Nikki Bella turning on Paige and confirming her heel turn again, which I'm not crazy about. No disrespect to the Bella Twins. I know that maybe some people love them, but I just don't really care for the Bella Twins. This clearly was potentially setting up maybe a tag team match between the Bella Twins and Paige, and potentially AJ Lee, as AJ Lee and Paige do have a history, but it seems like that's going to be on pause as Brie Bella suffered an injury, and it seems like it's seeming to be a serious injury. The Bella Twins are really cursed this last 2 years. Like, when they wanted to start something with Nikki and Brie, Nikki got injured. And when Nikki came back, now Brie's injured. So that's been closed. Next match was CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed WWE Championship. I was kind of disappointed by this match, to be honest. I thought this match was fine, but I don't think it justified the 30-minute runtime that it got. I liked what they were trying to do with this story, with, of course, Punk going for Cody's knee, or Cody's arm, I should say, Cody going for CM Punk's knee. I just kind of felt like the match overtook its welcome. I kind of felt like they didn't really have enough chemistry for ironically enough, like Cody and Punk. There was a bit of a mixed communication at times. Of course, that terrible moonsault that Punk did, and I know it's something to say like, oh, Punk is trying to do things completely out of his comfort zone in this match, but please, at 47 years old, please don't do a moonsault, please. It got slightly better towards the latter stage of the match. Then we got the return of Randy Orton, who we haven't seen since WrestleMania, hitting Cody with an RKO, which allowed Punk to hit the GTS for the victory. The match was fine, but it was a slight disappointment because there was some expectations for this match. This is the first time ever, to an extent, with these guys where they're on their current positions, and it was just kind of a fine match, like pretty disappointing. Yeah, that's what I got from Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Then we got to the main event, which was Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. I thought the match was good, but I feel like there wasn't the Hell in a Cell structure wasn't really utilized in this match as much as people, well, just what I think it is. I think this could have worked well as an ODQ match, or a street fight, or a last man standing match. This just being a normal, it felt like a normal match without Hell in a Cell. It just didn't really have the aggression. I know a lot of people screaming for the blood in this match that could have been used here. I think WWE have done a good job of kind of making the Hell in a Cell feel like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for very heated feuds, and I just don't think this match had the heat like what they had with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Obafemi getting the victory. I mean, there was a lot of things here, even Brock Lesnar ripping the padding of the mat, even hitting a tombstone piledriver. Obafemi getting the victory with his finisher, but he missed the exposed placement because he thought he might trip or whatnot, and Oba getting the victory. I'm happy that Oba got the victory, and Brock Lesnar putting over Obafemi like he did with Cody Rhodes a few years back at the SummerSlam. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I just think the intensity of this Hell in a Cell match wasn't really there. It was a good match, but you could argue it didn't need Hell in a Cell. But I'm happy that Obafemi got the push, he got the acknowledgement, he got the passing of the torch, you could say, that Brock Lesnar was offering to him. And that was night one. I thought night one was fine. Like, it wasn't anything exceptional overall. I think, ironically, maybe my favorite match of the whole show was Io Sky and Liv Morgan. A lot of the matches were fine to good to decent. I was actually disappointed with CM Punk Cody Rhodes. I think the main event was good, but you didn't really need Hell in a Cell. But yeah, those are my thoughts on night one. Heading into night two, we started with a number one contenders match for the Undisputed WWE Championship, which was going to be Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. But then Nick Aldis, who was reinstated as general manager after his match with Gunther, decided to add some more opponents into this. He added Gunther, which kind of clarifies that even though Gunther and Nick Aldis had a match, his bias or whatever he had between Gunther will not distract him from what he thinks is best for business. Then he announced another person, which was the returning Kevin Owens, who has been out for 18 months since having a neck injury, where the last time we saw him was last year at the Elimination Chamber in an unsanctioned match against Sami Zayn. Really cool to see him back. Really cool entrance. He got pretty emotional from his point of view, and even some of the fans as well. Sami Zayn sold completely, like he completely shocked, like he saw a ghost. This was a good match, but I think this is coming to one of my critiques when it comes to WWE PLEs going forward. Most of these matches don't get a lot of time. A four-way which involves Gunther, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and Kevin Owens, and they only get 8 minutes. It doesn't give enough time for these type of matches to kind of have near falls, have drama, and have other things as well. And I think this is going to be the case for a lot of these matches going forward. And a lot of the issues that I'm probably having with this version of WWE PLE/pay-per-views and this whole version of TKO currently right now. Good match with Kevin Owens getting the victory and setting up a really intriguing match with him versus CM Punk down the line. I just wish the match was a bit longer, you know? Sure, you can do some good things with the time given if it's needed, but a match like this, and I think this will be a trend with the other things going forward for night 2, is that they should have gotten more time. Then we had Baron Corbin versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Ironically got 1 minute more. And then the 4-way. It was solid, but nothing crazy, nothing whatever, just, yeah. Baron Corbin getting the victory and becoming the United States Champion, something I kind of expected, especially with his return to WWE. It feels like Trick Williams is going to be chasing Baron Corbin for the United States Championship now. Instead of giving Trick the title reign, they want to have a heel to kind of do the chase with, so they've picked Baron Corbin. Yeah, it was solid, it was decent. Lil Yachty went through, well, I think he went through a table, but maybe he botched that. But yeah, it was decent. Then we had the 5-way ladder match, which kind of had a reasonable amount of time given to it. I thought it was a good match, which featured Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, Tiffany Stratton, and Chelsea Green. It was given enough time. There was a lot of interesting spots. There were some brutal spots, especially from Tiffany Stratton. She took a powerbomb from the top rope into a ladder, which was a nasty spot. Chelsea Green tipped the ladder over, and Tiffany performed like a swanton to all the other opponents. A finish that I thought was very, very intriguing was Chelsea Green looking to go for the finish and looking to get the belt. But then you had the baddies of Mia Yim, Beechin, and B-Fab pretty much tie Chelsea Green to the ladder. As everything's going on, everyone's having different spots. Everyone gets destroyed. And then Chelsea Green is still there, hanged onto the ladder. She rises up and then goes for the belt and wins the interim women's championship. Congrats to Chelsea Green, a choice that I did not expect, but I am happy that she's getting this moment with the belt. Even though I feel like when Rhea Ripley is fully fit, when they want to make this an undisputed thing, I do think Rhea's going to get the victory. I know after the show, she acknowledged and gave homage to this win to Michael Hayes, someone who once said that Chelsea Green is just not on the level of Charlotte Flair or Tiffany Stratton. Lol. So congratulations to Tiffany Stratton in a good match. Then we had Dominic Mysterio and Danhausen in a Human Monies on pole match. This was 6 minutes. It needed to do what it needed to do. You had your comedic spots. You had whatever you did. Danhausen had like some kind of funny, like Godfather type parody before the match. Danhausen got the victory by cursing Dominic Mysterio and then explosions. You had a lot of mini-housens. You had JD McDonough beating up the mini-housens, him performing a better moonsault than CM Punk. Look, I don't hate CM Punk, but just please don't do that moonsault ever again. And yeah, it was what it was. Danhausen got the victory. I wish we can be done with this feud. Dominic Mysterio needs to look at least strong for Triple Mania, and I don't think this helps him, whatever. It's very interesting when you look at WWE Unreal Season 3, you look at all the people that were pushed, like a Braun Breaker, the Judgment Day to an extent, even Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio has gone from feuding John Cena in one of John Cena's last PLEs to feuding with Danhausen. And Danhausen is not terrible in his own right. I have my own views. I think Danhausen is entertaining when used in small doses, but when you overexpose him, which WWE are clearly doing right now, because yes, he's making money, merchandise, whatnot, it don't really help the Judgment Day, but that's just me. Chad Gable versus Penta was a good match, but I feel like it once again suffered from a match not allowing itself to breathe and actually have more time when it's needed. When you look back at this feud, there's a lot of things going in with this. Penta was one of Chad Gable's first opponents, and this kind of led Chad Gable to a dissension where he took the Grande Americano gimmick. Then you had that incredible Mouse versus Mouse match at Triple R, Los Dos Menos Grandes. I effed up, I messed up, but I'm trying to remember the show. But that incredible Mouse versus Mouse match, and then losing, and then having this redemption story, and facing the man that he once faced and trying to beat him. The match was good, but I kind of feel like it needed more time. I think this era of WWE PLEs, it's kind of suffering. It's like, unless you're Punk, Cody, Roman, or Seth, you're going to get 20 plus, which we'll get to later. And some of the matches just don't breathe. I understand that WWE are in a position where they're with ESPN. ESPN need to pay their money back because of the amount of money they spent on WWE. So they have to throw a lot of commercials during the PLE. So if you watch this live, if you're here in Europe and Netflix, you're getting the whole "we'll be right back" for about 3.5 minutes, and then you get another commercial. But it affects the wrestling, It affects where a match like Gable versus Penta could have got more time. A match like the four-way could have gotten more time. A match like even Gunther and Aldis, or even, sure, Liv Io was really good, but I feel like it ended pretty well. But I feel like and this was an issue with WrestleMania earlier this year. Liv Morgan and Stephanie McMahon got 6 minutes. What kind of story could you tell with 6 minutes? But overall, good match. Happy that Chad Gable got his moment to win the Intercontinental Championship, to be with his family, and to do a callback to the promo he did after the Moss vs. Moss match, where he announced who he was, where he was born, of course, being in the hometown of Minneapolis. Kind of feel like he got the third biggest pop of the whole night for some reason, but happy for him. Then there was some weird mascot from a commercial that was celebrating with him, which, did he need that? No, he didn't, but whatever. Main event, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, potentially for the last ever time. And it definitely feels like that, especially after this match. I thought this was a great main event. I really enjoyed the main event between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. They got a lot of time. They got the most out of the whole show, 33 minutes. But I really liked the pace that they went to. There was a lot of back and forth as well. A lot of homages to themselves as the Shield, even with Seth Rollins' theme song, where he first kind of showcased the beginning of the Shield theme. Roman Reigns came out as well, normal Roman Reigns entrance. But the match itself was given time to kind of go out, wrestle, either in the ring, outside of the ring. The referee, of course, being lenient due to the huge drama of this match and needed a winner, especially for Roman Reigns, as he has not been Seth Rollins in a while, even though he has. It allowed itself to have some spots if it was Seth Rollins hitting a Shield buckle bomb to Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns doing to himself, vice versa. A lot of near falls if it was Seth Rollins hitting the spear on Roman Reigns hitting the curb stop on Seth Rollins, and even Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns doing acknowledgements to Jon Moxley / Dean Ambrose, with Seth Rollins hitting that wacky clothesline, or Roman Reigns hitting the paradigm shift / dirty deeds as well. So clearly a match that has its history and its acknowledgement as well. One of the spots I enjoyed the most, of course, was when Seth Rollins was going to have the chair, which was sponsored by Wingstop. Came out with the chair, about to do the spot, but Roman was able to counter. Then Seth was there in that position where Roman looks like he was going to hit Seth with the chair, but Roman chose not to, which shows the acknowledgement of Roman Reigns' character, that the fact that the last time he was here with this spot, he did hit Seth with the chair for revenge, but it cost him his undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40. This time around, he's deciding to ignore that and really chase for the title and to chase beating Seth Rollins finally. Final stretch was great, but it was Roman Reigns who got the victory in what I thought was a great main event. Roman Reigns has been on a bit of a roll with these big main events on the big shows, if it was the match at WrestleMania with CM Punk, and here with Seth Rollins as well. At the end of the match, Roman Reigns wanted to do a Shield fist bump. Seth had the mask, which was kind of a way of representing that Jon Moxley / Dean Ambrose is there, and they did the pose. And that was the end of SummerSlam. And yeah, really enjoyed the match. Definitely the best match on the whole show. And yeah, SummerSlam was overall, I would call it a good show. I think a lot of the issues that I have with WWE PLEs currently right now still showcase itself. I think the usage of like the ad breaks interfering with the match times do concern me the more that we continue on. I feel like certain matches could have been better with more time if it was Penta versus Chad Gable or even the four-way match with Kevin Owens' return. Um, and yeah, best things on the show was Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Leo versus Io was pretty good. I thought the ladder match was good too. The things that were just, it's just a lot of the, I think some of the decisions, like I thought Cody versus CM Punk was disappointing in my opinion. And just the time given, to the matches that really kind of made it a bit underwhelming to a certain extent. But I still will say, as a whole, it was a good SummerSlam. If I was to give this out of 10, do I give this out of 10 or do I give grades? I'll just give it out of 10. I think you could, a 7 or a 7.5 would be a good score for the show overall. I do think night 2 was slightly better, which ironically had less time of the wrestling. But I think that's just kind of the unfortunate nature that WWE are in, and I feel like they're trying to condition. I felt like the crowd in Minnesota was kind of underwhelming to an extent. They were over for what they were over, but they were quiet for certain things as well, for certain matches that they clearly didn't care for, and that you could argue has to do with the build of the show, which was very, very underwhelming for a SummerSlam PLE. Um, but yeah, they like I said earlier on in the recording, they didn't announce the attendance, which is very interesting. There's been a lot of talk about how many tickets they were able to sell for SummerSlam, and it did look good. They didn't show the hard cam, which I'm interested to see what the hard cam side looked like. And I think the set was a cool set to kind of compensate for how big the stadium was, but they were able to make it look good. But yeah, SummerSlam was a good show. I know Triple H made some comments on the SummerSlam post show. I feel like I wanted to address it later, maybe in a different time. But those are my thoughts on WWE SummerSlam. What did you think of the show? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. I have been O'Riordan for Main Event Mike. Have a blessed day, and I'll catch you guys later.